Welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 2, Episode 5. So, you may remember in the previous segment we notably completed the International C license, and of course if you have not checked out my previous videos I would highly recommend you go and check those out before you see this one, so that you are caught up to date with my progress. And as you can see here by the game status, we now have our International C license. Well, now of course, we need to move on and officially get our fourth license of the game, which will notably be the International B license. And also, to anyone asking if I forgot to mention what the final car was that I drove in the International C license, that was a Chevy Corvette Gran Sport. So this is now our fourth license in the game, the International B license. And hopefully, if it is possible, I will be able to give myself all gold. And also, to start off this license, we are doing rallying. Rally 1, Smoky Mountain, North. While jumping across the tricky jumping spot, head for the tight corner on the left. From the straight section, be sure to enter the corner on the outside and brake quickly to swerve out the rear tyres and cut inward through the corner. So this is officially what we are starting with here, of course, in the International B license, and we are doing some rallying. And also, the car we are driving in this is a Subaru Impreza rally car. No doubt in saying I'm probably anticipating this was notably Subaru after Colin McRae had left for Ford. But anyways, let's get right to it. And just checking again. Yep, okay. This is our first attempt with IB1. And I just hit the wall, so I think that just costed me. Oh, okay. That was a terrible first attempt, and wasn't even good enough for silver. So that was my first attempt, and of course, my first attempt was shit. And we also need to find 1.6 seconds in order to officially give ourselves the gold. Well, guess that's the punishment I get for not paying attention to where the track goes or where the surface goes. But anyways, it's now time for the trialing and the erroring, to see if we can officially get this one on the gold. There we go. I guess it's just because I needed to stay straight through the corner. But anyways, took me a few failed attempts, but I got there eventually by just over a tenth. And well, I think just because I don't think there are many think just because there aren't many tests in here that actually have rally cars, I think I'll just get this one as my replay shot, you know, just because I want to. And I'll see if I can find something decent, but anyways. Rally 2, Tahiti Dirt, Route 3. At least I think that's what the R stands for, but anyways. This is a test of right and left, drifting through 3 consecutive hairpins. After using braking and steering together to drift through a corner, learn the feint motion needed to enter the next corner, opposite direction. So it's basically the 3 consecutive hairpins of, I think, Tahiti Maze, as far as I can work out, and also, as far as I know, of course, the goal time is a 18.55, and also the car we are driving for this test is a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 5 as the car we are driving for this test. Let's see how we do. Hopefully we can do good, but we'll wait and see. Okay, that does not work. Yep, okay, I fucked up. Well, fuck my dumbass. Well, there we go. So that was my first attempt, and in spite of me hitting the wall right at the final moment, just before exiting that final hairpin, I would have probably been on par to be closer to a gold than I was. As a matter of fact, I might have actually got the gold if I didn't hit the wall, and I was actually successful enough, but anyways. Now we have to try and see if we can get the gold, since obviously I didn't get this on my first attempt, but anyways. Let's see how we go. I think this is... Was it 11? Oh, probably 10. But I don't know for sure. Oh, could this be it? Could this be it? Yes, it can. So there we go. It is another gold. So, again, took me a few failed attempts, probably because essentially overall, I'm basically like Lightning McQueen, hashtag Mr. I can't turn on dirt. And that's precisely what I'm proving I cannot do. But somehow, I turned enough of the dirt to get the gold. So that's now both of the rally tests complete. And now, we get to move on to Oversteer. Oversteer 1, front wheel drive. This is a test of skill in driving an oversteering FF car, which fishtails easily. When fishtailing starts as you enter a corner, steer to correct it while giving full throttle to steady the car. Countersteering, opposite to the corner, may be needed. And the car we are driving in this one is a Mitsubishi FTO GPX as our front wheel drive car for this test. And the goal time is a 25.2. Let's see if we can do anything to capitalize on this. That is oversteer, by the way. And I'm sure this isn't a gold. I'll be surprised if this is worth a pass. Oh, okay, well, it's worth a pass at least, and it's also worth a silver. But I am off the gold by 6/10. And I need to find those 6/10. I think you guys know where we are going from here. The trialing and the arrowing begins. Guess something still ain't working here. Well, I think that was a more representable time. This could be adequate, but the real question is it adequate enough? Yes it is, by 6,000ths of a second. It is indeed adequate enough. For the gold. 3 down, 7 to go. Oversteer 2, rear wheel drive. This is an oversteering rear wheel drive car. Unlike FF cars, giving full throttle while fishtailing can cause a spin out. Instead, accelerate while countersteering to correct fishtailing. Do not abruptly change speed or direction when entering a turn. So this time we are using a rear-wheel drive car, and also I believe this is the first time in the license centre that we are actually driving an MR car this time. A manual transmission rear-wheel drive car. And the goal time we need for this is a 24.2. And pretty much at the same launch speed as we were in the previous test. Which is kilometers an hour, by the way, which I do believe is about probably 93, maybe 94 miles an hour, but I don't know for sure. Anyways, let's get on with test number 4 and see if we can get the gold. Just waiting for the game to load. Yep, okay, I run wide there. I was a little bit too wide there, I think. But we'll just wait and see what happens. Can I get a silver at least? Okay, yes I can. I've got the silver. And I was not too far away from the tile wall either. If I was going any quicker, but anyways. We have the silver, now we just need to get the gold. Let's see if we can find less than 3/10 to get the gold. To quit. Is this good enough? Yes it is. It was adequate enough to get the gold. I suppose all I really needed to accomplish was not touching the gravel. Even though for most of my attempts on that one I did touch the gravel, which is unfortunate. But anyways, moving on to International B license number 5. Multiple corners 3. Here, a gentle corner comes before a tight one. Start braking while you still feel the lateral G-force of the first turn. The key is to brake from the inside of the first turn toward the outside of the second turn. And the car we are driving in this one is a Ford Mustang SVT Cobra from '98. And we are now returning to front transmission rear wheel drive cars, with our goal time being a 17.85. Will I get it? Probably not, but we'll just wait and see if I can achieve success. fucked up on that one. Now, of course, I need to try and see if I can improve on that. Understeer I'm being played with this time. I actually don't know which one. But can I at least set a passing time this time? And yes I can, but it's not worthy of a silver, unfortunately. So, eventually, after 8 attempts, I finally managed to pass this test, but unfortunately, I am still well off. I'm about less than a second off the gold. So even though I did manage to pass this time, it's just unfortunate on how I'm still a second off the gold. How anyone was able to get this one on their first attempt, I will probably never know. But with me, that ain't happening. Because it's only just taken me enough attempts to actually pass this fucking thing. Here comes the long and very much winding road to the gold. Oh my god. Well, took me a couple of minutes, but got there eventually. Just needed to not fuck up the exit, which is precisely what I've been doing most of the time. Because I've been more likely to fail this test than I have to pass it. But there we go. I have the gold by 1,000th of a fucking second. I have the gold. Holy shit. That is probably about as close as it will get. But anyways, we are halfway home. Low speed slalom. This is a slalom course, 20-meter interval. The right-left steering should produce a lot of lateral motion and some spinning. Learn the rhythm of steering and accelerating. Ease off the accelerator to swerve and accelerate to steady the car. And the car we are driving for this one is a Peugeot 106 1.6 Raleigh. And it has just under 100 horsepower. And our goal time is at 19.3. Hopefully we can succeed on our first attempt, but I would anticipate not. And I think that just costed me because I hit the wall. Okay, this is not going to be a pass, I'm sure it won't be. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, at least it's a pass, but again, that run was terrible. As soon as I hit the wall, I thought for sure I was going to fail, but surprisingly I did not. And now of course I need to see if I can find those extra 1.4 seconds to eventually give in myself the gold. 1.4 seconds to find. Let's see if I can get the gold. Hopefully I can, by the way. I feel like I actually need every brain cell in my body to help me out with just this one test. There we go. Finally. Well, Yeah. It's done. It's a gold. Finally. That one really had my brain twisted in knots, honestly, it really did. To be truthfully honest, I was more likely to fail that test than I was to pass it. And yet somehow, I actually got very lucky to actually pass that one. But still, I am so relieved that took a lot less than I thought it was going to take. Anyways, moving on. Multiple corners. 4. After a 90p right corner, enter a tight left hairpin. Isn't that supposed to be degree? Yeah, it's probably degree, but anyway. Enter a tight left hairpin. The strategy is to avoid being too aggressive, entering the 90-degree turn. Once you've clipped the left hairpin, wait until the car's direction changes before accelerating at full throttle for a fast time. So I think, as far as I know, these are 90-degree corners, not 90p corners as it says there. Let's see how we go though. Considering I've actually had to move myself in. Okay, that did not work out, Chief. I'm sure that one did not work out, Chief. Is it worthy of a silver? Not quite. So, I need to be 7/10 faster if I'm going to get this one. I think you guys know precisely where we are going to have to go from here, but we'll just wait and see. This be it, come on. There we go. It was adequate enough. Well, took me about less than half an hour, but I got there eventually. Even though it was probably less than that, but anyways. 7 down, 3 to go. This time we move on to high-speed slalom. Also, by the way, the car we drove in the previous test was a Nissan Skyline GTR R33, if I didn't mention that before. Anyways, high-speed slalom. This is a fast slalom, long interval. The key is to keep the car steady and keep up your average speed by avoiding too much swerving that occurs when not accelerating. Finally, coordinate acceleration and steering, and use acceleration to steady the car. So the car we are driving in this test is a Honda S2000, and the goal time we need is an 18.35. And we can achieve a maximum time of, or a minimum time of 21.7 to pass. Hopefully we can, by the way, but I'm not making any guarantees. Oh, that was so close. Well, at least I managed to pass. Even though obviously that wasn't even my best run. But anyways, I did manage to pass, and at the very least, I can say this one is easier than the previous slalom test I did. So, let's try this again and see if we can get probably more than 1.2 seconds faster. Potentially 1.3. that does anything for me. Oh, okay. It does actually do something for me. Wow, that actually worked. I did not think shifting into 4th was actually going to work. But anyways, it has. I was not expecting that to happen. But anyways, there we go. It's a gold. And like with the previous one, that one took a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. But anyways, 8 down, 2 to go. And the high-speed slalom was actually a lot easier than the slow-speed slalom, or low-speed slalom I should say. But anyways, P-cornering 7, Red Rock Valley. This is the last section of Red Rock Valley. After the fast chicane, you must wind through a tight hairpin. Find a good line for entering the hairpin through the chicane and find the right point to go full throttle out of the hairpin. So, the 9th and penultimate test of the International B license, and the car we are driving in this one is a Mazda RX-7 Type RS. And to anyone asking for what model it is, this is the FD. Let's see how we go for our first attempt. Hopefully we won't do very badly. But we'll wait and see. Well, at least it's worthy of a pass. But obviously I still need to find another 1.2 seconds to get this one on the gold. Somehow, on that previous attempt, I did not fail. Don't know how, I just didn't. Just managed to avoid failure for some apparent reason. Let's see if this actually does it. And yes, it does! So, there we go. It is a gold by just over a tenth. So, 9 down, 1 to go. P-cornering 8, Laguna Seca. Here is the famous corkscrew from Laguna Seca. You have to grope your way through since you can't see much ahead. There is an uphill before the braking point and a downhill after, so brake enough and enter the turn from the outside. So, this is now the 10th and final test of the International B license, and surprisingly the second part of this license has not taken as long as I thought it was going to take, because I've actually been on this for only about an hour and a half, and it's definitely taken me a lot less to get this on the gold than I thought it was going to, but anyway. So, the corkscrew of Laguna Seca, and the car we are driving for this is a Dodge Viper GTS. Hopefully, if it is possible, I can get a silver on my first attempt. But let's see how we go. Considering I probably will have to go easy on my first attempt. It's a sweet ass looking snake this is. Oh, could this be a silver? Yes, it can. So, a silver on my first attempt, and all I need to find now is another second and then I've got the gold. So that first attempt went a lot better than I thought it was going to. But anyways, we now have our International B license. And now of course I just need to get dark gold. Just depends on knowing if I will get the gold or not. And obviously it would be nice if I could. Oh, okay. I guess that works. But anyways, there we go. It's a gold. By just less than 1.5 hundredths. So there we go. The International B license is now complete. And we also get our prize car. But before I do that, just going to save the game, and surprisingly, this license overall in my opinion took a lot less time than the previous one did, because I'm actually much more relaxed with this one than I was the previous one. But anyways, there we go, all gold in the International B license, and also that was a lot shorter in terms of the longevity that it took me to complete the International C license. But anyways, there we go. International B license now complete. And now we have just one license left, and that is the International A license. So heading back to the home page. And this is the prize car we win. A Honda CRX Del Sol LM edition. Still, I'm not gonna lie. This car actually looks good in red. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know this was one of the prize cars I won in GT1, and I'm fairly certain that was in red as well. But anyways, yeah. So that's the prize car we win from getting all gold in the International B license. And as you can see there, we now have our International B license. So, that was the International B license. And next up will officially be the International A license. So, with that, stay tuned for more GT2.